Waiver gems and trade block plays. Win today and plan for days. Waiver gems and trade block plays. Win today and plan for days. Waiver gems and trade block plays. Win today and plan for days.
Win your league, stack that bread, or start a boom and lose instead. Sunday Surefire, let's go.
Welcome to another episode of the Sunday Surefire podcast. I'm your host, the Commish. Joining me today is the co-host, my man Ethan Weaver.
Mish, how we doing?
Well, Ethan, doing pretty well. We are here today to run down the 2025 running back class. NFL draft is later this month. We're recording this on April 2nd, so it's finally draft month. At this point here, I think we're both pretty much ready for the draft to be here, so we can get some landing spots for these running backs and the other positions as well. But I guess, are you looking forward to the draft over there and to finally see where these guys end up, or you want to just grind some more tape and look at some more analytics and broad jumps and all that good stuff?
Always willing to put in the work, but no, I'm looking very, very much forward to the NFL draft. I think it's I think it is the climax of the offseason. It's when we finally get all the pieces to the puzzle, and it really makes or breaks these prospects. So it's one thing I look forward to every year, and it's going to be a fun one.
Yeah, it's always fun, the draft. I mean, it's good to get that last piece of the puzzle, especially for dynasty purposes. See where these guys go and then where they fit into the NFL mix in their specific situations. But there'll be plenty of time to dive into all that after the draft. But we're still talking pre-draft, just really more so these guys as prospects. And so we're going to reference what they did at the NFL Combine, what they did in their college careers, and maybe talk a little bit about where some guys might end up. And we have 10 running backs that we're going to run down here on this list. And we would be remiss if we didn't start with just getting the obvious one off the board early here in Ashton Jeanty out of Boise State here.
Who's
5'8".
that?
Yeah, you heard this guy, this running back guy? He was pretty good. Won the Doak Walker Award. I'm not sure if you
nice
about that for the nation's top running back. But, 5'8", 211, just two absolutely monster seasons in college. Just considered one of the better running back prospects in recent memory. Like I said, took home the Doak Walker Award for the nation's top running back. And what exactly that means from how that translates to the NFL, it's usually pretty strong. Of the last 8 winners of this award who are currently in the NFL, 6 of them produced at least one RB1 season. So the guys that didn't, I should add too, are Bryce Love and Deonta Foreman, both of which had their careers either derailed altogether in Bryce Love, or Deonta Foreman had it seriously set back to start his career. He ended up has kind of latched on as a little bit of a journeyman after a tough Achilles injury. But outside of major catastrophic injuries, the guys that win this award are very fantasy relevant. So you can just toss Jeanty into that pile here. The stats are crazy. 7 yards per carry on a whopping 374 carries last season. Dual threat skill set, caught 80 passes in his 3 years at Boise State. Just isn't much that he can't do out there. And he's going to be the 101 in all dynasty formats. And he's going to be everybody's RB1 overall in this class. Nothing spicy from us here, Ethan. Would you agree?
I agree completely. Jeanty, I mean, one of these generational running back prospects. We've seen a few throughout the years. I guess I'm going to ask you a question. Would you rather have him or Bijan Robinson?
Ooh, that's tight. That's a tough question.
Yeah, not to put you on the spot, but we're talking about generational talents.
Yeah, we did not talk about that beforehand. I mean, I guess it's hard to say because we don't know exactly where Jeanty is. At the moment, I would probably lean Bijan just because I know the certainty and he's going to get a ton of work there, even with Algier behind him. So at this moment in time, I'll say Bijan with the caveat of I want to potentially change my answer after the draft. How about you?
Yeah, no, it's tough. I guess Algier's kind of been a thorn in Bijan's side, but Bijan that offense should be cooking this year. Jeanty has been mocked by Chad Reuter. He just put out a 4-round mock a week and a half ago or so, and he had Jeanty going to the Las Vegas Raiders there at the 6th pick with Pete Carroll. You know, Pete Carroll loves to pound the rock. So if Jeanty's getting 20-25 touches a game, it's obviously going to be great for fantasy, but the offense is probably going to be lackluster. Well, you never know. My guy Brock Bowers might carry them to the promised land, but yeah, no, it's always tough. I just figured I'd throw Bijan's name into the mix just because we're talking about. I mean, the last couple of years, just these insane running back prospects. So it's been great for us. I mean, the running backs with Gibbs and Bijan last draft, and then obviously Genty coming out this year. So it's we need a running back resurgence in the NFL.
Yeah, running back renaissance. I'd be here for it for sure. And I guess before we move off of Genty, I want to throw out one quick landing spot where I'd like to see him play. If he falls to number 10 in the draft, Chicago Bears, I think that could be a fun landing spot. They really invested in their offensive line, improving that, trading for established veterans, and maybe they add some more in the draft as well, trying to just give Caleb Williams every opportunity to succeed. And as we know with Ben Johnson, he had a very successful run game with the two-headed monster of David Montgomery and Jahmyr Gibbs up in Detroit, and he has the potential to build something like that if they draft Genty and you put him in there with DeAndre Swift. And not that Swift is anywhere near the player that Genty is. I think Genty would instantly become the leading ball carrier there. But I think it could be something sort of akin to the two-headed rushing attack that he had in Detroit if he were to land in Chicago. I think that's an interesting spot at number 10.
I do too. I think Ben Johnson's obviously going to try to mimic what he did in Detroit, and to have a guy like Genty, probably more so in the, I mean, he's going to play the Montgomery / Gibbs role because obviously Swift isn't Gibbs, and Genty's going to get more work than Swift, obviously, if you're taking a running back in the top 10 there. But obviously, with Caleb Williams taking a step, you have Odunze there, you have DJ Moore, you have Cole Kmet. That offense could be humming. So that would be a pretty sweet spot for Genty, in my opinion.
Yeah, it looks good, and it's all speculation. It's all done on paper at this point. But hey, it's April 2nd, guys. Like all we got right now is the paper to go off on. So we're still 5 months away from teeing the ball up for real. But let's keep diving into these running back prospects, Ethan. Our number 2 guy we're going to probably talk about is Omarion Hampton out of North Carolina. What you got for him?
Yeah, Hampton, very good collegiate career, running back out of North Carolina, 6 foot, 221 pounds, junior, 22 years old. He had a pretty good combine, 4.46 40, 93rd percentile in terms of speed score, running a mid 4.4 at 221 pounds. He has elite burst, 129.6 burst score, 92nd percentile, had a 38-inch vert, 10 foot 10-inch broad. And only thing he kind of struggled a bit at the combine was his 20-yard shuttle, which was a 4.4. You want to see that a little lower, but I mean, Hampton's a kind of a big bruising back. I mean, the guy is just he's built like a house, but had a very good 2024 season, 281 carries, 1,660 yards, 5.9 yards per carry, 15 touchdowns. And he also did work in the receiving game with 38 receptions for 373 yards and tacked on another couple touchdowns. Hampton's a guy that's being right now mocked in the first round of the NFL draft. Chad Reuter has him going 21st to Pittsburgh, Lance Zierlein 20 to Denver. So I think we're going to get 2 running backs in the first round. Hampton, like I said, great collegiate career, has all the measurables, the requisite size, and I think he's going to be a very good NFL running back, and any dynasty manager would be happy to have him on their team. I think he's a top 3, most likely a top 3 dynasty rookie pick.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I really like Hampton. He's my number 2 RB as well. I think he's kind of settling in as a consensus guy in the RB2 spot, at least at this point in the process. And yeah, that first round draft capital for him would be absolutely huge. I mean, there's some good landing spots at the top of round 2 and also in the early or the late first round where would be pretty friendly for a running back to end up for dynasty purposes. So yeah, I'm with you on him. That'd be great. You say you have him consensus top 3. Obviously, we have Genty at number 1. I guess who's the other player for you in Superflex leagues that would be in that mix for you, assuming that Hampton gets this late first round draft capital?
It all depends on the team. I would probably take Hampton at the 102, but if you're a quarterback needy team and Ward goes the 101 in the NFL draft and you need a quarterback, I could see somebody taking Ward at the 102. Outside your team needing a quarterback, I would have a hard time drafting any other player over Hampton.
Yeah, agreed. Hampton is an awesome prospect, big mountain of a man, can carry the mail at the NFL level. And if he gets that early draft capital, it just means that whoever takes him is going to be leaning into all that work. And as we know, volume is king in fantasy, and we love running backs on those fresh young rookie contracts. So, yeah, big fan of Hampton as well. I think he's my 102 in Superflex leagues right now. Team needs notwithstanding. But let's double tap these Ohio State running backs here. Let's start with Judkins here. Quinshon Judkins out of Ohio State, another big guy, 6 feet, 220 pounds in his own right. Spent 2 years at Ole Miss, then transferred to Ohio State. Took home the national championship there in his final college season. Really impressed at the combine. Ran a 4.48 40. This 10-yard split was 1.51, 38.5-inch vert, 11 in the broad jump. Crazy. Good stuff for him, especially for a bigger guy. He was super productive too in those 3 years in college. 3,000-yard campaigns. He also scored 50 touchdowns in his college career, which is just crazy numbers. So if you like those box score stats, it's definitely a guy that checks all that off for you. The combine definitely helped him up his stock here in the offseason. The one, I guess, kind of thing that lingers with him, and I feel kind of bad for him because this happened in such a high-profile spot in the national championship game, is if he still has that long speed to actually hit those home run plays and pads on Ethan. I think you probably know the play that I'm talking about from that game where he got caught from behind on that long run. But we like the 4.48 was pretty solid for a guy for someone his size. So I like him a lot. Judkins, I have an RB4 in this class, Ethan. So I guess give me your thoughts on Judkins and what you think about all that.
I like Judkins a lot, and like you said, maybe he didn't show us that 4.4 speed in that game, but for a guy that ran a 4.48 at 221 pounds, I mean that puts him in the 91st percentile in terms of speed score. Just because a guy that's 220 moving that fast, I mean it's impressive. But I like Judkins a lot. Right now, he's probably my RB3 at the moment. I just love his combination of just speed and power. His contact balance is insane. He's just a strong runner. He was kind of a little more north and south at Ohio State. He didn't really have to get too creative on that team. I mean, obviously he had Henderson to complement him, but I think Judkins is going to be a great pro. I mean, like I said, you look at him and just the combination of speed and power. I think he can just do work in the NFL. Reuter has him going to the Chargers in round 2 at pick 55, which obviously I don't really. They just brought in Najee Harris, so I don't necessarily love the selection there by the Chargers. But I mean, I like the round 2 selection, right? So I think Judkins is going to be a round 2 prospect, which it is going to obviously vault his dynasty stock there. But I mean, Judkins is a guy that's just so quick and explosive, and I'm really excited to see him hopefully get picked in the second round. I think he has a chance to be a top 40 selection. So I'm all in on Judkins.
Yeah, I like Judkins a lot too. Round 2 draft capital would be awesome for him. Even the Chargers, I don't think would be a disaster landing spot. Yeah, I think it'd be
It's a one.
muddy. Yeah,
Yeah.
because it's a 1 year deal for Harris, as we know. So it might be muddy for a year, especially at the beginning of his rookie year. But if that might just knock the price down enough in Dynasty,
Yeah.
where you're more confident taking a shot, you get him a little bit later when the risk isn't quite as much. But yeah, anywhere in the second round, I think would be great for Judkins. He's definitely the Thunder to the Lightning that was Travion Henderson in that backfield in Ohio State last year. So we'll segue into him here. But yeah, Henderson, he was a 4 year player at Ohio State. Ethan, what do you want to tell the people out there about Henderson?
Yeah, Henderson, like you said, he was the Lightning to Judkins Thunder. His fellow Ohio State teammate. Henderson is 5'10", 202 pounds. So on the lighter side, he ran a 4.43 at the combine, 38.5-inch vert, 10-foot 8-inch broad. So very explosive back. I mean, just a guy. I mean, he can do it all, but he's capable of being a just a star on third downs in the NFL. He's a guy that can be a great complement in any backfield. So it's going to be pretty interesting to see where he goes. I mean, I think he's going to be a stud in PPR leagues, and just because I mean he is smaller that for a workhorse running back at 202, but he is a very good pass protector. So that he does have that box checked off. I mean, definitely a willing pass blocker, and I mean, very good technique. I mean, he stays in there even at a smaller frame and gets the job done. So Henderson, like, I mean, you can kind of see him more in that kind of Jameer Gibbs type role. And I think he's going to be, like I said, a great complement in a backfield. He probably won't be the every down three down back. I mean, you don't really see those too often, anyways. But at 202 pounds, that's, I mean, you don't want to bang him in the line 20 times a game, but it'll be nice to see him in PPR formats. And I think Henderson and Judkins, some people like Henderson a little more. I think they, with that PPR upside, I mean, Judkins, that north-south bruising back. So both these guys are going to be first round rookie picks easy. Obviously, I think Henderson's going to be a second round draft pick in the NFL draft. And right now, Chad Ruder has him 44 to the Cowboys. So, I mean, the Cowboys landing spot, it isn't as, I guess, shiny as it used to be, but it's still a pretty sweet landing spot. And I think he would do very well in that Cowboy scheme.
I think it's a pretty juicy landing spot still. I know their offensive line is retooling, that some guys retire up front, and that's hurting them. But yeah, I still think I like that landing spot a lot for him. That'd be great if he gets second round draft capital. That'd be awesome for him. I really like Henderson. I think he's really what a modern NFL running back who is part of a committee looks like. And let's face it, it's a committee league nowadays. As much as we, as fantasy managers, would love for there to be 32 bell cow running backs that are just eating up volume, kind of like how fantasy was when I first started.
We got to turn back the clock here.
Yeah, even the mid 2000s, it was like, okay, every team, like, 26 teams have a workhorse running back. You know who it is. The first 4 rounds of your fantasy draft are just filled in. It's not that it's pretty easy, but yeah, it's more challenging now for managers out there. But I think Henderson is a guy that he might not be as big as some of the other running backs, but I think he can fit in really well on those third downs, like you said. The fact that he's good at pass blocking is a big plus. I mean, everyone says with these running backs that catch a lot of passes in college, they're like, oh, he's a third down specialist. But a lot of those guys also have, the first thing you see in their weaknesses for them are struggles in pass protection. Where, well, you can't be an NFL third down running back if you can't pass block. So the fact that Henderson is good enough, is at least in theory going to possess the skill set to do it at a serviceable enough level, will get him on the field to put him in those opportunities to not only just pass block, but also catch passes on third down, which is what we want for a fantasy, especially in PPR leagues. So I like him. I like Henderson a lot. I have him as my third rated running back in this class. So big fan of his. But we'll keep going here to another guy I'm a fan of here. This guy rounds out my top 5 running backs in the 2025 NFL draft class amongst the running back position. That's Caleb Johnson out of Iowa. Our boy Aaron Downtown Brown, who's not here tonight on the show, it will like this one, is hometown Hawkeye, going with the 6'1", 244-pound running back. 3-year career at Iowa. Some solid production in his first 2 years. It was okay. That really exploded as in his in 2024 to the tune of over 1,700 scrimmage yards and 23 total touchdowns. And this is a guy who, he's coming off an awesome season statistically. Graded out really well, 16th graded overall running back per Pro Football Focus. And mind you, folks, when I say he's like 16th, people are like, that's maybe not too great. The PFF graded 444 running backs. So to be in the top 16 is a very good mark, very respectable. And the kind of the elephant in the room with him is coming out of Indy, where people were kind of down on him after a 4 or 5 40 time. But like that doesn't mean I'm going to put him down at all for that. I mean, look, he's 224 pounds and he's 6'1". Like, what am I? Why is that a terrible 40 time? Like, we know we've seen running backs in the past who didn't crush in the 40. And while we all wanted Johnson to run a little bit faster, I'm not going to throw any cold water on him here. And if that forces folks to drop him down their boards a little bit, I'm just going to be happy to buy any type of dip I can get on a guy like Caleb Johnson. And like I said, I still have number as a top 5 RB in this class. Ethan, where do you come in on Johnson?
No, I agree completely. I think people overvalue the 40-yard dash sometimes. I mean, Caleb Johnson, in my opinion, checked the box by being in the 4.5s at 224 pounds. So I don't think that should have really impacted him too much at all. I mean, he's still a guy that's like, for a bigger guy, light on his feet. He's quick, displays patience, running the football, and he had 66 missed tackles forced, which ranked 6th amongst PFF's big board of running backs, which ranks the top 27 running backs in the class that they're projecting to go in the NFL draft. So Caleb Johnson had a good career at Iowa. I like him a lot as well. A bigger back that can easily come in the NFL and just, I mean, he's a guy that can, on a good offense, that can score. I mean, obviously double digit touchdowns. I mean, and a guy that can handle the rock 20, 25 times a game. So Caleb Johnson, another guy with very good balance. I mean, he had 1,060 yards after contact, and he had 0 fumbles. So he's a guy that you can give him the rock quite often. He has good ball security. He does have to work on his pass protection a little bit, but overall, Caleb Johnson, it would be sweet to see him in the second round. Reuter has him 67th to Cleveland at the beginning of the third round. So Nick Chubb replacement, but that would be a pretty good spot for Caleb Johnson in the beginning of the third round.
Oh, absolutely. That'd be a great landing spot. First from a volume standpoint, which is what we want for a bigger back like Caleb Johnson. But let's go to a smaller back here as we round into the back half of this top 10 for us here. And Dylan Sampson out of Tennessee, Ethan.
I like Dylan Sampson. He's out of Tennessee, 5'8", 200 pounds, junior. He's only a little over 20 years old, which is the youngest in the class. He had okay burst, 35-inch vertical, 10'4", broad. Had a good 2024 season. He had 258 carries, 1,491 yards, 5.8 per carry, 22 touchdowns, and then he recorded 20 catches for 143 yards. And his yards after contact, 929. Like I said, ranks fifth amongst that top 27 big board per PFF. Missed tackles forced was 70, which was fourth amongst those 27 running backs. And so, I mean, he did work for Tennessee. He was a very good back. There was rumors that he was going to run like if he did end up running the 40 at the combine, it was going to be in the 4.3s. Unfortunately, I guess with some lingering hamstring issues, he elected not to run. He did run on his pro day. From what I gathered, it was in the mid 4.4s. So I mean, if you just put the .05 pro day penalty there, it would equate to kind of a high 4.4, but he does play fast. So, I mean, some people can run fast in the 40, and then you look at their tape and like, yeah, I don't really see a 4.3 or 4.4 from this player. But I mean, Dylan Sampson, you put the tape on, he does look very fast out there. He plays fast, but he did have a decent amount of fumbles. He had 4 last year, which isn't very good. He definitely needs to work on his ball security. Chad Reuter had him going pick 100, which was round 3 compensatory pick by the 49ers. So a compliment to CMC. I mean, in the third round, that would be a pretty good landing spot, especially with CMC's injury history. But Dylan Sampson, I like a lot. I think he can be a very, very good compliment in an NFL backfield.
Yeah, I think so too. I think he has the potential to be a good piece of a committee at the NFL level. Obviously, great final season in college at Tennessee. SEC Offensive Player of the Year. I mean, PFF 6th grade running back. Good stuff there all around for him. Not a perfect prospect by any means. I think third round is about right for him. Even if it's late third round, I think that would be good draft capital for him. And Stanford's an interesting landing spot. I hadn't given that one a ton of thought, but you always want the bodies behind Christian McCaffrey for the reason that you mentioned. So that could be a good one. But let's go to another one here to another kind of more polarizing player, I guess you could say. Cam Skattebo out of Arizona State, 5'9", 219 pounds, just a fire hydrant of a human being. Crazy productive season last year at Arizona State, just carving up the Big 12. Over 2,300 scrimmage yards and 24 touchdowns. The vert 39.5. The broad was 10.3, which is okay. And he didn't run his a 40-yard dash at the combine. People were kind of knocking him on that. He did run it at his pro day, and he ran in the mid 4.6s, which wasn't what we were looking for, especially at the pro days where everyone seems to get a little bit better time. You got to take those pro day times with a grain of salt. But this one, we'd like to take it with a grain of salt for the opposite reason, I guess, which isn't usually what we come out of those exercises with. Regardless, I'm not really holding this against him in a big way. I think he is a guy who can be a leader in a committee at the NFL level. And because if you look at how the guy plays, I mean, he's a wagon out there because it's so hard to bring down. It takes multiple defenders to get this guy on the ground, and I just think the right NFL offense could see this guy and be like, okay, we can feed the ball to this guy, and maybe some of the shines off of him, and we don't have to invest a second round pick in him to go get him. If you can get him in the third round or later, I think it's a no brainer for just about any team in the NFL. And I think if he lands in a good running spot, he could be very fantasy viable, Ethan. I know you're kind of a Scatterboo stan, so you're probably going to agree with me on most of what I just said.
No, I like Scatterboo. I mean, just watching him run is it's great football, right? I mean, this guy's mentality, his fight, his effort, his contact balance, his play through contact ability is just elite. I mean, he put Arizona State on his back in the college football playoff, and it was just awesome to see. Like you said, it took an army to get him down. He just refused. He refused to go down. His contact balance is absolutely insane, which correlates to his burst. I mean, his burst was in the 90th percentile. You had the numbers. I was very happy to see that type of burst at the combine. I was hoping his 40 would be a little better. I was hoping like his pro day time would be like high 4.5s or something. Okay, mid 4.6s. I mean, we've seen plenty of running backs be successful in the NFL running 4.6s, mid 4.6s, aka Josh Jacobs. But even then, I mean, speed isn't Scadaboo's game, but he's also a very capable receiver. I mean, he had 45 catches for 605 yards in his final season at ASU. But I'm wondering how a running back who runs probably closer to the 4.7 range, can he get open like he did in college in the receiving game? Obviously, running a 4.7, I mean, almost anybody in the field can cover you. Even, I mean, a lot of defensive ends and some D tackles are faster than he is. So it'll be interesting to see how he transitions to the NFL. But I think he would be a very solid asset to any NFL team. There's reports that he may be a fourth rounder right now. I hope he can sneak into the third round. So his dynasty, I mean, stock doesn't just fall out a little bit. But I mean, there's plenty of fourth round running backs that are still successful. I mean, Ramondre Stevenson, he's had a good couple of years, obviously a terrible year last year. But I mean, fourth round running backs are essentially the new third round. So, but we're looking for at least that top 3 round capital. Chad Reuter has him going in the fourth round, pick 122 to the Denver Broncos. So, I mean, Denver, obviously, they don't have really anybody of consequence in their backfield right now. So if they bring in Scadaboo and they don't really bring anybody else in of consequence, I mean, it could be wheels up for him. So it'll be interesting. He's a very polarizing player. And this is what makes the NFL draft so fun, because it's like these guys can really rise and fall so much with their draft selection.
Yeah, they certainly can. I mean, he's a guy who could go either way, for like you said. So definitely agree on that. This next guy we're going to talk about is someone who I guess is a little more. I feel like he's this Devin Neal is more of a kind of like a safe bet in the like late second round of rookie drafts, dynasty rookie drafts, and obviously that's dependent on where he goes in the NFL draft, of course. But I just think based on what we know about him right now, he feels like more of a safer running back who probably won't be a home run hitter, but could be okay in the right spot here. I guess I'll let you break it down the one, Neil. Though, what do you think about him?
Devin Neal, I feel like is a fan favorite of the dynasty community. I mean, a lot of people like him. I mean, he's just a guy that kind of does everything right. He is running back out of Kansas, 5'11", 213 pounds, so pretty decent size. He's turning 22 in August. He's not the fastest guy. He ran a 4.58 at 213 pounds, which isn't terrible. We just kind of went over that. Um, I know I mentioned on a previous video that his speed score was under 100, which we generally don't like to see, but Bucky Irvin's was an 89.6, and he's looking pretty good. But he had decent burst. I mean, 37.5 inch vert, 10'4" broad. So I'd love to see that burst. But he was just a very, very solid running back at Kansas. In 2024, 219 carries, 1,266 yards, 5.8 per carry, 17 touchdowns, and he added 24 receptions for 254 yards and a touchdown. But I mean, He had 4.3 yards after contact per carry, which is great. 36.5% forced missed tackle rate, which ranks top 10% of this class. And he had a 9.3% explosive rate for 20 plus yard runs and 53.7% success rate. So he's in the upper tier of running backs for big play potential and consistency. Devin Neal is just a guy that I think can go to any NFL team and be a very, very solid contributor. And it is a guy I'd be happy to get in the mid to late second round. It would be sweet if he gets drafted in the third round of the real NFL draft. Then his stock is obviously, I think, gonna go up. But I mean, he was the Kansas all-time leading rusher. He was all-time leader in rushing yards, rushing touchdowns, and 100-yard rushing games. And he operates with great vision and high playmaking intelligence. He was actually a baseball player for Kansas too, until he switched over. He switched over to football full time. But he's just a natural receiver, and they actually use him in the Wildcat quite often too at quarterback, which kind of um, due to, I mean, he's great with his vision, so it kind of makes sense to, hey, put the ball in his hands, look at what's coming to you, and react. So Devin Neal, I think, is an exciting prospect for a lot, because I mean he's talked up in the dynasty community quite often as this like kind of later round running back that could pay dividends for your dynasty team. So he's a guy I'm excited, like I said, to get in the mid to late second round of my rookie drafts.
Right. Yeah, of course. And that's kind of where I would love to take a shot on him too. Where I don't know if he has necessarily the super high scale upside to be great from a fantasy production standpoint, but he feels like a safer guy that I would not mind getting my hands on in round two, where I can kind of stomach more of the risk. Where we're
Yeah.
drafting these guys mid to late second round. So Neal's a guy to monitor. I'm really curious to see what the NFL thinks of him, and then I think we'll have a little bit more of a clear picture on him from there. But I'm going to move over now to another guy who's a winner coming out of the combine, and Bayshell Tootin out of Virginia Tech, 5'9", 206. Guy who, like I said, combine was awesome. Ran a 4.3, 240, 40.5 inch vert, which was awesome. Checked in at 209 pounds as well. So he's not exact, he's only 5'9", but he's not exactly a shrimp in terms of weight, which is good. Two quality production seasons worth of production at Virginia Tech. It was really good as well. Caught 50 passes in his time there, so he can win also in the receiving game, which we like to see out of our running backs in the modern NFL. And I think if we can get him another guy, if I could draft him in the second round or late second round of my drafts, that'd be awesome. I really like this kid. I think he has the potential to be good in the right fit. But I guess that's really all I have to say about Tootin, Ethan. What do you think about him?
These are the guys I love taking shots on in my rookie draft, kind of later, late second round, like early, yeah, or early third or any third
Are
round.
those
I mean,
darts,
just these
baby?
exactly. They're just like athletic freaks, and if they get put in the right system, they can blow up. And I think a lot of people would overreact to this landing spot that Chad Reuter has him going to. It's the fourth round comp pick, but pick 136 to the Kansas City Chiefs. I mean, that speed in that offense, that the guy with that kind of explosion. I mean, look out. So, I mean, Tootin stock would definitely go up, but he's a guy that I definitely have my eye on going into late second, any in the third round of my rookie draft. So he's definitely a guy that I'm going to be looking at in the real NFL draft, and hopefully you can get that top 3 round capital, or at least fourth round at the floor.
Yeah, that'd be great. If we can get a third round draft capital, I would absolutely love that for Tootin. That'd be great for his stock at the NFL level and in Dynasty for sure. But yeah, a good player. Kansas City would be great. They seem to love their fast guys there, even though I would love to see what Andy Reid runs the 40 in these days. But
Not
the guy's
great.
got an eye for speed though, and I'm not talking fast food, Andy. We love you. But let's keep going here. Got one more guy to talk about, Ethan. You're going to talk up RJ Harvey. Let's hear it.
Yeah, RJ Harvey at a UCF, 5'8", 205 pounds, senior. He just turned 24 years of age. Had a pretty good combine, 4.4 flat, which I mean great for a running back. 38-inch vert, 10'7" broad. So I mean, this guy has speed and explosion, at least at the combine here. But RJ Harvey, I mean, he was had a very good collegiate career. He was in 2023, he was sixth in the FBS with 1,416 rushing yards, 226 carries, 6.3 per carry, and tied for sixth with 16 rushing touchdowns. In 2024, he was fourth in the FBS with 22 rushing touchdowns and ranked sixth with 1,577 yards rushing. But yeah, this guy, he was a high school quarterback. He actually went to college trying to play the quarterback position and then transitioned over to running back. But he's just a playmaker, and I do see a really good first step with him. And when change direction, and I do see the explosion that I saw in the jumps and the speed at times on tape. I mean, he missed his missed tackles forced average ranked above the 96th percentile, and he brings natural hands as a receiver. So he's a guy that you want to get the ball in his hands. He obviously did work in college, and he has the requisite size for. I mean, 5'8". 205 doesn't sound a lot, but he's only 5'8", so he has a decent BMI, and obviously he had a very, very good combine. Chad Reuter has him going in round 4 to the Saints at pick 112, but he, I mean, like I said, he had 32 breakaway runs, which shows that 4.4 flat 40, and he had 69 missed tackles forced, which ranked fifth amongst those PFF big board 27 running backs. So I actually like RJ Harvey. He's another guy that just keep tabs on during the NFL draft, and he's one of these third round running backs that you could scoop up, and it will pay dividends potentially later for your dynasty team.
Yeah, NFL draft capital for this guy is huge. I'd need to see
Massive.
what the league thinks of him. He's definitely in that category, as well as some of the other guys after that we aren't even touching on tonight. There's plenty of other good running backs out there that we didn't even get to, but who will think differently of them certainly after we get the NFL draft results. But it's huge for Harvey for sure. The fact that he's 24 years old, some analysts will say that doesn't matter. I don't care. I don't. They don't care about it. I care about it. I'll say it. I'm an ageist in dynasty. I'm an ageist at the running back position. A 24-year-old running back. I'm not saying don't draft them because they're 24, but you better be good right now if you're 24. Because as you know, dynasty is very much a value-driven and market-driven game. And do people like paying for running backs as they get into their mid to late 20s, Ethan?
Of course, no, not at all.
No, they
Not
don't.
at
People are
all.
getting hip to that. Like the aging running backs are losing value, particularly in superflex formats where the positions do devalued some. So yes, I am an ageist in dynasty. I'll always be an ageist in dynasty. So I did like what you said about like if you could throw a dart at him in the third round of your rookie drafts, that's fine. Like the risk there is mitigated altogether. So I wouldn't mind taking a shot on him there if he gets somewhat decent NFL draft capital. Or even if he falls like round whatever, fourth, even the fifth round, I can still see myself taking him a shot at him in the mid or so third round of my rookie drafts. I'd be okay doing that for sure. But overall, yeah, I just think the I don't really know what the league thinks of him right now, and age does have me a little bit scared in dynasty because I think age matters when it comes to running backs specifically. So those are my thoughts on Harvey, and those are a rundown here, folks. I'll just recap the top 10 guys quickly that we touched on. We had Ashton Genty, Omarion Hampton, Travion Henderson, Quinshawn Judkins, Caleb Johnson, Cam Scatterbo, Bayshell Tootin, Dylan Sampson, Devin Neal, and RJ Harvey were the 10 names that we ran down today. Make sure that you're liking the video. If you can, please hit that subscribe button as well. It's a big help for us on our end. And until next time, folks, peace.